So, hi everyone, welcome back to my vet journey. So, a few weeks ago, I asked you all on my YouTube community post and Insta story to send in your questions about studying veterinary abroad. And today, I have got super exciting Q&A session for you with Savi Kulkarni, a final year vet student at University of Veterinary Medicine, Budapest. We talked about everything from admission process, academics, and student life to what it's really like living and studying in abroad. So, if you're someone considering veterinary college abroad or just curious about the experience, this video is definitely for you. Hope it clears up all your doubts and give you the insights you're looking for. And without wasting your time, let's quickly get into the video.
So I haven't ever dreamt about being a veterinarian. For me, it was something that I understood along the course of my journey. I just knew that I wanted to pursue something with animals, and I kept doing that. I volunteered a lot. I had a great job at an aviary. It was a very well-known aviary. SL World Bird Park, जो है उनका एक exotic bird park है. I used to work there. I used to love my job. But along the course of my journey, I ended up meeting a lot of veterinarians who do amazing work. I got exposed to everyday, जैसे they fix animals, you could see that transition in front of you, and so वहाँ से I sort of picked up deep interest in medicine, and then COVID hit. COVID के बाद I got very lucky. I landed a job in one of these clinics in Bangalore as a vet tech. जब मुझे सिरिंज पकड़ना भी नहीं आता था, आई वाज लाइक दैट बैड, बट आई वाज रियली इंटरेस्टेड एंड मैंने ऐसे ही अप्लाई कर दिया था, एंड आई गॉट वेरी वेरी लकी दैट दे एक्चुअली had me come in and work for them during COVID. जब रास्ते पे कोई नहीं होता था, I used to go alone. Like I was the only going to this workspace, and I really 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 enjoyed my time there. And by then I knew कि मुझे veterinary करना है. So I had started preparing in 2021 for NEET. बीच में there was one of my friends who just suggested कि यार ऐसा एक scholarship है Budapest में. It's called the Stipendium Hungaricum. Just apply and see what happens. I still remember कि January 16th को उनका last date था application के लिए. मैंने without any expectations, I was like, you know what, just send. क्या worst thing they'll say is no, right? So I remember sending out the application on 15th January. No expectations. I was happy preparing for NEET. And then in about a month, I got an email back saying, "Hey, you've been nominated for the scholarship, and applications ye hoga." I'm standing. I was still working at the clinic back then, so I'm standing outside my clinic. What the hell? I actually got selected. So that was like a very very lucky, yeah. So that was extremely lucky, I felt. And I don't know, शायद उनको मेरा motivation letter बहुत अच्छा लग गया हो. It's something like I had no expectations, but that worked out beautifully. And the only reason till date people ask me कि why did you go to Budapest? The only reason I tell them is because my entire 5.5 years of tuition is covered, which is a huge financial benefit. Otherwise, I would have stayed in India for sure, for sure. But so far, that's been my thing as to why I came here. uh, so I can't talk for other universities, but in my university per se, इनका कोई eligibility criteria इतना नहीं, even for like bachelors for that matter, if you want to pursue bachelors, they don't have a criteria for biology ही पढ़ा होना चाहिए या no, they don't have any of that criteria. However, they will have an entrance examination. For bachelors, I know that they have an entrance test that is based off 20 topics each from chemistry and biology. Jiska topic list is on their website on univet.com. And they're very basic. Like if you've studied biology in school, though it's like a piece of cake for you. But if not, you can always refer to NCRT textbooks. They're more than enough. And then post that, there'll also be a small interview, which is just a 20-minute thing. They'll ask you, kahan se ho, why do you want to join our university, why Budapest, these kind of questions. And again, one or two questions from the same topics that you've studied. Uske baad, I think, yeah, that's about that. The process utna complicated nahi hai, but every university has their own sort of criteria for applications. So yeah, it's always best to go to their website and do a thorough sort of research. The documents that you need are quite basic. In fact, उनके website पे बहुत easily like all the documents are listed out. And उनका office for you to come to Hungary is in Mumbai. You have to travel to Mumbai. So it's all the basic documents, right from your ID proofs, passport, reason for flying to the country, your letter of acceptance, letter of maybe if you have a scholarship, then you need to show them letter of award. All the basic kind of documents, Joe, I think it would be better if the list is checked because it's revised every year. And then there will be a small interview किया जाता है, biometrics किए जाते हैं, and then once you come here, there's the whole process of going back to the immigration office, getting your residence permit done. Because when you come here for as long as 5 years, like me, you need to have a residence permit. You can't have the visa because it's a one-time entry thing. Unfortunately, this one scholarship, Stipendium Hungariacum, is not very actively sort of available at the moment in India. Indian government is not offering this scholarship anymore. There is no official information from their end regarding this, but unki taraf se, like for the past 2 years, I've not seen students get nominated or get selected from this scholarship from India. So I would say not to rely, like जो भी आपके viewers है या जो भी ये video देखेंगे, do not rely on this scholarship. But the recent ones that I saw, there was one in Romania, जो very similar to what I have. It's the exact same thing, 100% scholarship. You get a certain stipend for your living expenses, ये वो health insurance मिल जाता है, all benefits are there. There is actually, it's called the University Grants Commission. जहाँ से भी Indian scholarships आते हैं, you have to go to the website of University Grants Commission, and most of the scholarships will be listed out over there. And this is where I applied from as well. So you send in your application form, transcripts, a very strong motivation letter, and yeah, that's about it. You have to send it to their Delhi office, and then from there they'll review it, and then you have to get nominated in order to get selected by the university. Yeah, it's a huge process. Yeah, it took me like 4 months or something. The university does provide one scholarship, but I don't think this is an international thing. It's more like for mobility that is provided for 1 year. If you were to probably pursue internships within Europe from our university, and if you win the scholarship, you're given a certain stipend for your travel expense, your living expense, which is a contribution, I'd say. It doesn't cover everything, which would be a contribution. वो एक scholarship है, and of course there is Erasmus here where you can pursue like 1 or 2 semesters from other universities. You can do that. But for foreigners, international students के लिए to cover the entire cost, Stipendium Hungariacum was the only one, and unfortunately India से I don't see this happening thereafter, I think. Yeah. Fee structure यहाँ पे per annum is around 12,000 euros, which is a lot. No, so my course itself is called DVM, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, is the course. What I'm doing here, or what most universities in Europe do, if I'm not wrong, my course is a one-tier bachelor's and a master's course. So I'm technically doing both together. So I graduate as a master's student here, which is advantageous because I finish in 5.5 years, not in 7 years. And we don't, when we study about a certain subject and a certain species under it, there is no classification between, okay, veterinary this and then there is production this. It's all combined. So every time we're going into farms or clinical practices, we sort of tend to do both production, the aspects of production as well, and the aspects of like regular veterinary medicine as well. And we've had that for the past 3 semesters now, like equine mein, yeah, farm animals mein, reproduction separately hota hai, so you study obstetrics separately. So yeah, there is exposure in all of them, but like we do it together. Yeah. No, they don't. They don't. You have to look for your own internship. In fact, this year also we have a polyclinic internship that we're meant to complete, which means that I have to be working with at least 2 or more species. And I already have one in Lithuania. So there are opportunities here, but they usually don't pay. In exchange for the work you put in, they usually give you free accommodation, yeah, free food. ऐसा कुछ ले adjust कर लेते हैं because there are people coming from different countries and stuff. So there are a lot of opportunities like that, but paying as interns, I don't think I've heard of those kind of opportunities very often. We have it around 6 months, I think. 6 months, and that's primarily because every post third year, after every semester, we have had to complete some or the other internship. For example, third year ke baad, I had to do a nutrition internship. Uske baad, I had to do one for like abhi polyclinic jo aane wala hai. And then in my fifth year, I'll have the rotation. So that time I'll be like actually practicing in proper clinics that I have to find myself. But I feel like we get a lot of clinical exposure throughout post third year. The idea is to be able to pursue veterinary medicine, like by any means. If you have the opportunities to study in India, great. I feel like that would be advantages in terms of if you are someone who lives in India and you have to cover those 5 years in India, apne family ke saath, with your khana and your comfort, and you're able to do that. I think it plays a huge role to just get through because veterinary is very taxing. I'm sure you know, like it is so taxing, and it's always nice to have that little bit of comfort here and there. So I think you need to weigh out your pros and cons and then sort of decide where you want to go. But education wise, I think it just comes down to your effort and your dedication at the end of the day. No university is going to pull through and be like, oh, you can. So, yeah, it just comes down to that, I guess. I'm very happy. I am very, very happy. Yeah, sometimes there are moments when I feel, yaar, mere dost hote to acha hota. Yeah, my dog, I had to leave my dog behind, which is like huge. So, yeah, those kind of things I miss, but there are no regrets, no regrets at all. It's a beautiful college. The number of people I've met from all over the world, I could have never had this experience otherwise. So there are huge pluses either ways. Teaching is great. It took me some time to get adjusted to some differences. For example, right from like my first to 10th standard, I'm very used to having हमें textbooks दिए जाते हैं, like back in school. Our material is so fixed. And यहाँ पे they usually opt for presentations. It's always presentations. They'll make PPTs. उसमें एक heading होगा and 2-3 lines होंगे. And from that, you have to refer that to other textbooks and sort of pull out more and more and more information. But that just makes your work twice as much. That is one difference. And one of the hardest things I found was इनके examination सारे MCQ based होते हैं, which I'm not used to at all. So yeah, there was the obvious language barrier. Like the minute you get out from the airport, यहाँ पे everything is written in Hungarian. So in India, like at least there's some relation between languages. Here, it was like completely different. Every face you see will look so unfamiliar. The culture is very different. So right from me getting into the airport taxi to getting to my house and getting adjusted for the next 2 weeks, it was like really, really, really difficult. But having said that, you get used to it, and it also adds to a part of your growth. You grow like to a level where I say today that you can put me in any part of the world and I will survive. Like it's fine. I'm confident enough. So primarily, I mean, the course itself is English language. In fact, when you enroll into the university, you have to give them proof of English proficiency, which is through TOEFL or IELTS you can give. You'll also have like an oral interview to sort of test your knowledge of English. So that is an advantage. So university may sub everybody speaks English. But if you go out and primarily it's Hungarian, which you're made to learn. If you come to Budapest and you want to learn in this university, 1 year of Hungarian is mandatory. फ्री तो नहीं मिलेगा. Free mostly नहीं मिलेगा for job purposes. There might be certain companies, veterinary companies, if you're working from them, there is possibility of them covering your visa costs. But free milna is, I'm not aware of that. I don't think that is a possibility, but I'm not aware of that as much either. So after graduating, for my university, I have the EV accreditation. जो होता है, we have the accreditation. So what I need to do is apply for an MRCVS membership, जो Royal College of Veterinary Education है. Once I do that, I am able to come back home and practice. And the way you do this is just go on their website. You need to send in an application. एक nominal fee होता है. If I'm not wrong, it's around 25,000 rupees. And then there is a small interview जहाँ पे they ask you a few questions if I'm not wrong, and then you get the MRCVS and then you're able to practice in India. But there are some colleges in Europe that are directly recognized by the VCI. So I think there was a list being circulated very recently. So yeah, if people are interested, they can opt for these kind of universities as well that are not directly यहाँ पे I have to go a little indirect way to sort of be able to practice in India. But there are universities जहाँ पे आप directly भी practice कर पाते हो. And I think my advice would be to just see the overall rank of the university. Research beforehand. अगर आपको India वापस जाना है, you always need to research if you'll be allowed to come back to India and work. What are the processes? If not, if you have to go indirectly like me, what is the process of doing so? Another thing that I think people forget to take into account is the climatic conditions wherever you're going. My best advice, I think, would be to get in touch with students who already study there. I'm sure they have tons of Facebook pages. Jo bhi university hai, they have their own Facebook pages. You can find people on LinkedIn. There's so many, ways of finding people today. So get in touch with them and consider, I think, yeah, basically वही होता है. But teaching, education, ये वो, I think it just comes down to your effort at the end of the day. I find myself not going to class so often. I'm doing self-study most of the time. So yeah. If this is something that you want to pursue, be confident, be very, very sure of the fact that you want this for your life. And don't just do it for the money. You think, okay, we get, or don't do it for that. Don't do it for anything. Just do it for the simple passion that you have, for animals, to be able to help them genuinely. And yeah, you'll go a long way. That's all that's needed.
A huge thanks to Savi for joining us and sharing her honest advice and experiences. And I just love the way how she explained everything in such a simple and easy to understand way. And I'm sure it will help a lot of students out there. Unfortunately, my voice didn't get recorded during the session, but I really hope you still found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye.